All right, welcome to Monday afternoon. It is 10:40 in the morning. We're getting started here. Sweet Transit. For those of you who've never heard of it before, welcome aboard. Sweet Transit is a train-focused city builder. You have two modes of transportation. You can either move around on foot or you can move around on rail. Uh, Goods, people, etc. Move them around best you can. Not really any lost scenarios that I found so far, other than, soft locking yourself, but even that's hard to do. So let's try it out. I've played a few hours. I think well, let's see what Steam says here. Steam says I'm 26 hours in, so, not a lot of time. It's a relatively new game to me. But I've been enjoying it. I've played a couple of run-throughs now. I haven't played to the end of the game yet. I haven't really gotten past the kind of wheat farm area, and then I start running into some stags. So join us, and we'll see what we can run into. It could be fun. I'm just going to grab the link here, throw it up in the Discord. I am going to kill the audio, the music from the game. I'm just waiting for word back from the developer as to whether or not we can actually stream with the music. Hopefully we can, but no confirmation yet. We'll see where we end up. I am going to try and keep an eye on messages, etc. We're hooked up with two monitors. That's why you see me turning off to the side and, what have you. We're going to run through this. We're going to make some coffee. We're going to, shoot the breeze and see how we build out here. So we're going to go ahead and start with a new game, and everything's going to be brand new. We're starting from scratch. So as you saw, new game gives you some options. You can either run through some scenarios or you can run through some other stuff, but we're going to run through the straight up options, and we'll see where we end up from there. And yeah. So it's a pretty decent setup. There are some things that I do want to point out. I'm just going to move my camera there because the toolbar is going to come up in a minute. Right now, you can see there's a lot of water on this map. And if I expand the map even bigger, let it regenerate, you can see that there's even more water. More water just means more obstruction, less building area. I don't really like it, so the first thing I do is we're going to drop the water down, let it rebuild. This isn't so bad. There is a central choke point for where we can run rails through, but looks like we can also do some river hopping over here and over here. So this one isn't bad. I can deal with this. We're not doing like a coastal thing here, although we could. Actually, you know what? Let's up the difficulty a little bit. Let's just flip this back to let's just go back to the standard here. Default, opposite, default, default. Let me have the default, please. Thank you. No. Is this clickable? No, you can't click it. It's slider. There we go. We hit the 100. My mouse can be a little bit sensitive and it's driving me nuts some days. That was one of them. And every time we make an adjustment, it, regenerates the map, which now we've got this garbage map and I don't like it. So we're gonna reseed it. Oh, that doesn't look so bad. I think we can work with this. Yeah, let's work with this. Yeah, we can work with this. This is doable. Okay. Looks like we got lots of clay over there. We got lots of coal over there. We've got some area that we can start building in here, kind of central in the map. So let's go ahead and generate and see where we end up. It also gives me a chance so you can see the user interface, and we'll kind of walk through that really quick before we get going too far in. I'm going to run through some of the things we're working on. Okay. So yeah, that's not too bad. It just covers up the time of day for the camera. If we drop the camera over here, there we go. All right, so we're going to walk through some things really quick here. We have our progressions tab. We have our problems tab, which tells us what's going on with our villages, etc. We have our routes. This is how we are going to define our trains. And then we have our blueprints. We might get into using blueprints later on, but for now we're going to avoid them. Scroll wheel moves you in and out. Once you get past a certain level, you end up in map mode, which allows you to kind of see the world slightly differently, which is great. We're looking at starting somewhere just around there. Ooh, look at this little river setup. That's pretty decent. Sorry. So up here we have our population. We have our cities, our factories or manufacturing points, trains, and each one of these is a list, but right now they're empty. And we also have our stations. Up here we have our wealth. This is our money, basically, because some things cost money and goods, some things just cost goods. It's all up in the air. Then we have our clock, and our clock allows us to adjust kind of the look, day, night, cycle, etc. I'm not sure if this can be automated somehow. That would be fantastic. Toggle visual controls. Oh, look at that. It looks like it might cycle through the day now as the day progresses. So we're going to go ahead and pause. Pause spacebar. Time is shift 1, 2, 3 for the 3 levels of play speed. And then, of course, we have our menu, which is the usual escape menu. So the first thing the game wants us to do is place a warehouse. The game initially is locked progress-wise. If we go into auto, there's a sequence in which it expects you to build things at first. Once you break that sequence, you can move things around. For instance, if I open up a new town, I don't have to start that new town from scratch. These are just some of the things that I've learned. So we're going to go ahead and place a warehouse. I'm going to keep the warehouse relatively close at first because we are going to move it in the end. Oh, you can't see too well there. I'm using one of those kneelie chairs, and it's not adjustable in the right spot, which is irritating. So we're going to build the warehouse. Actually, I'm going to build it just a little bit further up. Right about there. That's a good spot for it to start. Then we're going to build a village hall, and we're going to build the village hall down a fair bit from that warehouse. Actually, we're going to build it on the other side of the warehouse because the warehouse isn't going to stay there. That's important. The warehouse is going to get moved, but I want the village hall to barely touch the water, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so right about there is where we're going to place it. And then we're going to start building down in the bottom corner here. What we're going to start with is our fish. We're going to build a couple of fishing docks. One. Can we build one over here? No. 2. Can we build one here? No. Can we build one here? Yes. Can we build one here? No. Yes. Over here. What about here? No. No. Okay. So we can build the 3 fishing docks there, and then we're going to build a little path that goes around those fishing docks. And the reason we're going to do that is we need access to them. They just need to be touched by a road. Then the next thing we're going to do is, where is our village hall? Village hall is up there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to throw a little storage, but we're going to throw it across the street from the warehouse. And there is a reason I'm doing that. I'm trying to centralize certain items so that I know where they are. Because this storage is eventually going to become the town's warehouse. So these units here, we're going to worry about in a little bit. Next thing we want is a laborer's residence. So we're going to build a couple of houses. We're going to build those, right here will be good. There we go. And we're going to build those out. Okay. So as we're starting to build these up, laborer's residence, and each one of these can hold 5 people, which isn't a lot. It means we need a pretty big city fairly quickly. But one of the things we're going to do is assign the storage of these 3 guys. I clicked the 1 and it auto-assigned the others to the small storage. Okay. Nice, quick, easy fix. Makes everything really simple. And we're just going to place some more houses until we get to the next unlock. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's too many. Because, yeah, that's just too many. 1, 2. Oh, we're out of wood. Oh, we're paused. That's what the problem is. I'll remove these 2 houses here. And you can see people are already starting to go to work. These are assigned to the small storage, but they're highlighted because they can't actually reach the small storage. So we're going to put a road down in front so that they can get to work. Or so that they can get to the storage, I mean. And you can see now they're starting to produce fish. So fish is our initial food supply. It's all right. It's not fantastic, but it's decent. So we're going to get that started. A little bit of itchiness on my face. And now that we've passed the 60 worker mark, we've unlocked the water tower. And you can see that obviously our denizens are not happy because they don't have any water in their homes. So we're going to give them a water tower. And you can see the highlight on the walkway indicates how far the water tower serves. So unfortunately, the water tower doesn't reach out this far. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't reach the 4th one. If we put one over here, it'll reach those 2. And that's kind of the pattern that we're going to use in building up this city. Is we're going to kind of stretch going up. The next thing we're going to need is a market. People need to eat, right? So let's get them a market. And we'll build the market. And we're going to tie the market to the small storage, not the warehouse, because we're going to be moving the warehouse. So that gives us the option of having courier unlocked now, so we're able to actually transport some goods to the courier. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to build a dirt road down. Because very soon we are going to want to start building some other industries. But we're not quite there yet. If we look at our progression, we can see that we need to reach a population of 500 laborers. And we need to transport 50 wood to unlock the next node, which is stone. And right now, I think, yeah, we can do the sawmill. So, we're going to go up beside our town here on the other side of the village. We're going to leave 2 spaces, and we're going to build a sawmill. And this corner of the village, I'm going to start turning into a tree nursery. So we're going to go 8 storage here, and then we're going to do the planting. So we're going to go 4, and we're going to go up. And this is kind of a pattern that I've worked out that works really well for these tree places, like for the lumber. If we go like this, it makes us a nice rectangular facility for the trees. If I go 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we can't run it the other way because we end up short one, and we want to maximize our available tree space. So now that we've done that, we're going to build a, we're going to wait, actually, before we build the next bit, because we want to build a distribution center right beside it. So to get this supplied, we need to open up, and then the output storage is not ready. We do want some wood, and there's a little bit of a trick here. If we wait, you see, we can't currently sell any of our goods, which is fine. We don't have enough goods to sell. And there's no output storage. If I try to output storage to the small storage, now it's short on workers. And we'll see if anybody tries walking up there. I don't know that they will, because that's a pretty far walk. It looks like... Okay, so now we have a colony. What do we want to call our town? We're going to call it Uville. Or Youthville. Youthville. Welcome to Youthville. Okay, so we got the sawmill going, but we can't get our workers to it yet because it is just simply too far away. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of cheese the system here a little bit. We're going to build a road up. And then I'm just going to kind of count off 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be a road. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this will be a road. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be a road. Actually, if that'll be a road all the way across, and we know that this was the end of our existing setup, and we put a market on the end there, this would be a road. Which means I can go up here, and I can put a villager home. Oops. 5. Oh, 5 isn't the thing yet. Remove. There we go. Go back into build mode. Go to all. Click here. And now we can put a laborer's residence here. Laborer's residence there is going to give us the option put water there. There's one person living there now. And if we click here, we can see that they reach that far. So I can see how far up the road I need to put the next market by building this roadway even further up. And then I'll build this one all the way up. And you might think it's odd, actually, that I'm leaving this double road here, but there is a purpose to it, which we'll get to in a little bit. Let's see, Bishop. This house is now 2 of 5. And if I put this here, we can kind of drop down up against the road until the two meet right there. Okay? So we know that that's where we want it. And I'm just going to hold my finger there so I can put a marker to see where the roadway is. We're going to go 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, put a marker, 1, 2, 3, 4, put a marker, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it happens to hit right on a road. So now we can rotate this over, and we can't place it yet. So what we can do is this laborers actually gets food from the market, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it does. Barely, but it gets it. So now that we have 2 houses here, they're going to start supplying the sawmill with workers. And then down here, we're going to take a courier, and we're going to go from the small storage to the warehouse for now. And this courier shack is only temporary. And we're also going to bump up the number of workers that he uses so that he can transfer lots of stuff over. And now you can see we're starting to carry wood out of the sawmill. We've got 12 out of 40 workers. So we're starting to make progress. Both these houses are full. This laborer's residence is now up to 15. This one's up to 5. But this one has a food supply. That's why it's bumped up. So we just have to wait until we hit 50 wood. And then we're going to start increasing our supply drastically. And remember, this house is, everything is circular range. So where it reaches here, you can see already 2 blocks over, it doesn't reach as far up here. On this side, it definitely doesn't reach as far. So ways we can combat that is building a market over here. And you can see that its range reaches all the way over to the other side. So we can kind of centralize another market, and that will help fix up our town here. But we definitely need some wood before we can do anything. So we're getting into that phase now, 24, and then we get into the usage. So we definitely need to get that wood consumed. And one other thing we're going to do is we're going to protect 10% of the storage so that we don't run the storage dry. It's something we definitely don't want to do. But this town is going to become our lumber yard, basically. This is going to supply all our lumber for the rest of the game. Bishop is going to be our lumber town. So what we can do is actually rename this to Lumberton. And you can see it's gotten dark. There's some nice animation here. But our people don't sleep at night. They keep working. Bunch of vampires. All right. So we got to get some more lumber going. We are hitting a bit of a snag with laborers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another laborer residence here. And while it won't get the market bonus yet, it will provide another 5 laborers. And you can see we're at 15 of 40. We need to get that number up. So we're going to keep chugging away here for a few minutes while we try and get better numbers. And the key to this game really is don't go too fast. You can fly through the first bit of the game, but there's no sense in it. You can kind of take it easy. It's a nice, chill, relaxing environment. There's no need to rush it. And so we can just kind of keep an eye on things here. We've got 11 lumber. We've got 10 lumber. We're getting lower and lower and lower. But now we can actually buy lumber. So let's go ahead and buy 1,000 lumber. Seems like a bad idea, but I have my reasoning. Because now we can step up a little early. And was it on this side? Okay, we're going to put the market here and tie it to the small storage. And then we can start building some more laborers' houses. We got a nice long block here. Put those all in. Put our water tower on the end of the block for the water supply. And we've just bumped up our population. And in bumping up the population, we should be bumping up the number of available workers for the lumberyard. It takes a few minutes though, so let's give that time to do its thing. There, our number went up to 235. Where are we at? 5 of 5, 5 of 5, 5 of 5, 4 of 5, 5 of 5, and 5 of 5. Okay, so we're starting to fill in some workers here now. Let's get some more workers. Now we can't put a house here because of the connection, but we can put one here for sure. And we just got the notice for the coal mine because we've crossed 250 villagers, which is great. But again, we're not going to rush. We're going to let the system start to build up a little bit. I want to get at least 2 lumber yards supplied before I start going looking for more workers. I didn't realize that those guys didn't have access to a market. That will drastically improve our population. Because now we're starting to get fish in this market, and these houses are starting to get fish, which instantly triples their capable population, which is great. That means we now have our full 40 of 40, so we're good there. And we can build a distribution center here. This distribution center is going to have an output storage of the small storage. And this is going to have an output storage of this distribution center. And this is how we just take our little town and explode its lumber production. Because now we're going to build another lumber yard, but we're going to reverse it. So we're going to count off 2, 4, wood storage, and our sawmill. We're going to put in our wood storage. And then we're going to grab our trees. We're going to follow our guidelines here. And we're going to plant the forest. And then we're going to grab another one over here. And we're going to grab our wood storage. And then we're going to grab our 4, 16, there it is, and bring up to our 120. So you can see this blocks it in really nicely, really quickly. So we can go 4 long, and then we'll come across the backside here in a few minutes. So already we're starting to develop quite the lumber market. And we have a lot of people who are complaining that they don't have jobs. But we just built them a whole bunch of jobs. So the people are leaving because they don't have jobs. But they do, right here. And it could just be that they can't get far enough to get to their jobs. So again, we're gonna just extend this down, and we're gonna, oops, that's not what we wanted to do. There we go. There we go. Build in our blocks so that we have our blocks already figured out. There we go. And we can build in our water supply right from the get-go. Now, you can see people are starting to find their way to jobs. They're complaining there's not enough work, but they're starting to find their ways. And here, we're still saying that we're not getting enough work. So this is where the next bit of this game really starts to shine. And that is that we are going to start looking for a coal mine. So let's see if we can find one. There's coal over here. And there's 3 coal nodes, which is great. So we're going to build a coal mine, and we're going to build 4 coal storage. And it's demanding a station, which is great. We're going to build a station right here. And now we can start to build train tracks. So to build train tracks, we're going to come back over to our first village. And a little ways away from Lumberton, downtown, we're going to build our train station. And you'll see that I'm kind of focusing it central to where I plan on first building houses. This is going to be the This is going to be our first kind of central location for where I want to put the transit hub. And notice I said transit hub, because that's not going to be its primary focus in the end. So platform of 11, and it's 2 now. We're going to go here. 7. Actually, see if I can take... Oh, okay. We're going to go here, here. We're going to extend this up, and we're going to build a second platform on the other side here. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Build a second track. And so right off the bat, one of these is going to be our passengers, and one of them is going to be our freight. And we'll see how long this platform is when we put a thing in. It's 12. Okay. So I'm just going to mute here for a minute. I do run a small business, so take it easy for a second while we get ourselves sorted out, and we'll be right with you. Good morning, Artificers Deliveries. Daniel speaking.
Hi, this is Christine Carberry. I arranged a delivery for tomorrow morning around 11 with Jenny last week. I was just wondering if we're still on.
For tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, I've still got you booked in for 11.
Okay, great.
Okay?
I'll see you then tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, no worries.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, the life of a streamer and home business owner. Oh, the life of a business owner. Anyways, so yeah, one other thing we can do is we're going to very quickly jump a platform bridge across so that we've activated the second platform. This is our first set of track, and this is going to be very important because this is how a lot of our workers are going to get to the next place. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to run this to the edge of town. So to figure out where the edge of town is, I'm going to look at building a water tower. See, roads can be built anywhere, so they're not a good marker, but a water tower can only be built inside the village limits. So I want to put the water tower there as a marker. That tells me where my village kind of ends. And I'm going to run my tracks right up and out of the village. Now, because this is going to be a pretty central location and pretty important to what we do, I've got the small storage here, which is 500. I'm going to extend this station. It's 250. So I'm going to actually extend this station out. And I'm going to do that with a couple more tracks. And platforms and the whole kit and caboodle. Until I hit the edge of what I can use, which is right here. And that's going to give me a total of 2, 4, 6, 7 rails. And you may be wondering why 7 rails matters. And for now, 7 rails is overkill. But rails are cheap, and that'll give me future expandability. So we're also going to go here and here to increase our capabilities. Now, one of the things I want to do to make this even more effective is I have 7 rails, and if I remember correctly, the platforms were 11 or 10 platforms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah, they were 12 long. So my platforms are 12 long. These ones are 10. So this started out with 500 storage, something like that. And now it has a capability of a fair bit more. But it's also broken. I broke it. I didn't place it in the right direction, so we're going to remove. And I'm going to put my finger there so I can remember where it was. There we go. Move it over just a little bit. Want it kind of centralized on the platforms. So that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other. Great. So that's where we're going to put it. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of a difference in the way it looks now. There's a front door and a side door. We're just going to extend the platforms out. Like that. I will say the drag building in this is absolutely genius. I love it. No, I didn't want to go that far. I just want to go to the... Fine, go to the long one. Not what I wanted to do, but whatever. Okay, so we have 2 that are 11 long and 2 that are 10 long. Each one gives us an additional 10 storage. So that's 400 and some odd. But the platforms are 12 long. That's what's important, is knowing how long our platforms are. Outside of our village, somewhere up here somewhere, I'm going to build another kind of shunt line. Oh wait, in here, in the middle of all of this, I have 7 rails. So over on this side, I'm going to take my line and I'm going to split it. I'm going to count up 2 from there. I'm going to grab into here, and this is going to be the beginning of my 4-laning. But for now, we're not going to worry about 4-laning. We're just going to throw a little siding in here. What I am going to do, though, is over here, I'm going to bring this sideways right into here. And I'm going to bring my line up. We're going to go 1. Oh, wait. Is this 12? This is like 15, 16. Okay. So this needs to go up at least 12 rails. This is going to go up 12 rails, or all the way up. And then from here, it's going to go like this. No. Okay. Twelve rails. And then this goes into here. There we go. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one more. And this is our holding yard. Okay. So now that we've got our beginnings laid out, we need one for a signal, and then we can do a crossover here. So that way, if these are all full, we can use the main line. Okay. And we'll do the same thing here. Let's go from here. Let's take this one out. And we'll just find where this curve is here. This curve is here. So we'll go up one. We need to extend these, so we'll go here. Go from the bottom and go across. Extend this up and like that. Okay, so you can see I've done a couple of crossovers. We have some lines coming out. And this is our overall station. So it's a nice, quick, easy loop track. Comes in 7. However, you can see that they're all highlighted in red, and this is important for routing your trains. There are 2 types of signals, and then there's 2 variants of those types. So at the early game, we have access to one variant, which is the regular signal. We have the rail signal, and we have the chain signal. Now, the rail signal is what we are going to use for separating blocks or exits from areas. So, for instance, we can put a rail signal on here. We're also going to put our rail signals on the exits of these crossovers. Now, you'll notice I didn't do that on the other side. I will do it on this one, but I'm not doing it on the other one. And the reason for that is because I'm going to use a rail chain signal. And a rail chain signal looks at the track ahead of it to all connected signals. And if any one of them is green, it will allow the train down that path. So you can see the difference in coloring here. This signal, oh, I need to be able to see it. This signal here is checking all of these. And if any one of them turns green, it will set the track for that green path. Now, a fun mechanic is that you can chain signals. So this signal will reflect this signal, which will reflect any one of these that are green. Otherwise, it's going to show red and not allow any traffic through it, which is a good thing. Down at the other end, we have this signal, which is green or red. And then we can use the chain signals, again, to disallow exiting from a path until that signal is green. And then we do the same thing over here. We only need the one, and it will control the whole station block. And then on the exit side of the station, we can't clear the station until one of the paths leading out is clear. Now with this signal set, we can verify that the platform is clear. And later on, we can change these up. Actually, we won't need to at this station, but we're pretty well done here. Now, to get to the coal, which we started building over here, we're going to come up and around. And actually, there's some mountains up here. Those will make pretty good markers. We go around these two mountains and then come down this way. That looks pretty good. So let's do that. We're going to use the outer tracks as our beginner tracks. And so if we look, we have this mountain and then these two mountains that we want to get up and around. So we're going to go this way and this way. Now, for now, we're going to carry this past because we don't know where we want to go in the future. So we're going to leave a stub for expansion. And we're going to bring two lines from the top of this mountain down to meet our existing track and cross over it. So now we know where the stubs are. And we're going to use that chaining concept again for our crossing, which is important. So we're going to come down here, and then we're going to cross over. I said we're going to Control Z. We're going to cross over the track, and we're going to come over here. Now, we don't want to curve right away. We want to curve here. And we're going to cross. Oh. Come one more. There we go. Now we're going to cross. And the reason I'm keeping the 45 going is because the 45 allows for, oh, no, this is wrong. Control Z, Control Z. Okay, so I'm going to remove this, and we're going to remove this. Now we're going to go like that. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let's just take this out. Remove here, remove here. We're going to come up 2 from the intersection. Come 2 from the intersection. 2 from the intersection. 2 from the intersection. And then we're just going to take the end piece off each one. That's going to allow me to do the curve. There we go. Little building tricks. A little annoying, but it works. Oops. Hook to the end. There we go. So now we have a roundabout. Or at least we have a crossing displayed. Right? So we're going to extend this down. We're going to extend this down. But these ones inside, we don't want these. And I'm not sure if, yeah, it'll take out the whole thing. And we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the inside connector. And then I can remove like that. And then I can take these rails and using the corners, I can hook them up. Now this is going to be a marker for us later in terms of where we're going to put a cloverleaf crossover. Now right now it doesn't matter, but later on we'll need that marker. And this is where stuff gets kind of cool. So chain, 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 and chain, and chain, and chain. So we want a chain going into any intersection, and we want to regular signal any exit. Oops, that's the wrong side. And for these middle ones, we're not going to worry about them. Okay. So that allows us to keep moving around the exterior path. And then this is going to allow us to run this track up behind the mountains. If I remember correctly, there was a smaller mountain here, and we're going to do the same thing here. Here, go out to, and here. And you may be wondering why I'm using the outer of the set of 4 tracks. And that's because if I use the outers, I'll be able to better predict the interior sections. Or, yeah, where the interior sections are going to meet up. And that's my phone again. I will be back. What's up?
Hey, boo-boo. How are you?
I'm alright.
Well, Deb didn't plan things right properly again.
Okay.
I show up, Harold shows up, Eden shows up, Irfan shows up, and the store is dead.
So, did Deb show up?
Yeah, so Deb showed up and she's like, we have way too many bodies for the customer flow. I need to get rid of someone.
So, who was supposed to be there?
I was supposed to be there. Apparently, no one told Irfan that, he was getting rescheduled for another day, so he showed up too. Aiden's also showed up because he was asked to. So I'm thinking Deb was in theater brain when she started scheduling everyone. I did check with her last night. She told me to show up.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Yeah, so, she can't really say, oh, yeah, you weren't supposed to show up. I'm like, Deb, we have it in written. You told me to show up. So I did. Anyway, so she's given me till noon, and then she wants me to her place to, help her with the garden.
Okay.
But she'll want me there by 2. So I'm gonna eat something here. I have like pierogies and popcorn and stuff I'm gonna eat at. And then I'll head over.
Okay.
Michael still hasn't gotten back from AC with more mail packages. So I said, hey, if you want, I can take all of the stuff because I'll probably be in Guelph anyway. I can pick up the rest of the items. I can finish it off because I have all these stickers but no mail packages.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have 397 stickers, but I have like less than 300, so up to 300 or less than 350 packages.
Yep.
And he wants me to look up Kitchener and Waterloo as well. But now if we're going to do that, now we have to check and make sure Cambridge, Kitchener, Waterloo does not have any addresses that, clash.
Well, there shouldn't
no
be.
No duplicates, because I'm wasting stickers on packages. I don't want to waste packages.
Well, that's easy to do. You just do a search for Waterloo in the old stuff.
Yeah, that's fucking easy. That's not a problem. So I said, yeah, I can get that all printed and done, but I need packages. I'm out. He's like, yeah, let me talk to AC and see what I can do. Okay. Well, I'll be there. And he'll see my face, and he was like, okay, I gotta get this shit done.
Yeah.
Because I told him, I got all these mail packages, but they're not moving, so I want to get them done and get them over with.
Okay.
I didn't know I was going to end up at his house. Now I feel bad. Like, fuck me. I didn't know it was going to be these many people at the warehouse.
There wasn't supposed to be that many.
No. Irfan was supposed to work 2 days a week this week because he's back to 20 hours. But apparently he's coming in full day today, half a day on Friday of all fucking days.
He's trying to
half a day on the Friday of all days.
He's trying to force more hours.
He can't. He can only do 24. If he does more hours, it will show on his paycheck. And if he does that, he gets fucked over on his visa. He loses his student visa.
Yeah, well.
Because it's a condition to be met.
Yeah, well.
Sorry, the work visa. My bad.
I never said he was smart.
No, well, he's getting a job offer in the U.S. He doesn't want to stick around here, so I was like, okay, get your ducks in a basket, make sure that you got all your paperwork done, and then you can, once you have the job letter in hand, switch your visa over, go to the U.S. and get it done.
Yeah.
I think that's a way to do it. It's a legal way. That's a way to do it.
Okay.
So I'm like, why aren't you doing that? He's waiting for his classes to be done with and get his thing, and he's gone. Which means by September, he's pretty much gone from here.
Mm-hmm.
He's making more money as an Uber driver than he is here. He doesn't care.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised.
Which means if I'm done by September, like if I get even like 3 cleaning clients by September, they're fucked. Oh my god.
Not our problem.
I know, but Jesus Christ. Like, how?
Not our problem.
I know. I feel so bad for her, though. She really puts up with a lot, and I know she's reached the limit. Like, she's just not in the mood to deal with anything.
Well, again, she does this to herself, kind of.
I know. She gets her own anxieties. She lets her own anxieties get the better of her, and it goes to shit very fast.
So.
But, I'm gonna have to ask her. It's like, okay, on Thursday, what's happening? Because we don't have Irfan. We only have John. Apparently I'm not scheduled. I know Aiden's definitely not scheduled. Who's gonna cover cash for Irfan when she's on break? Because she's got all these pills to pop.
Did you talk to Deb about the shit?
Yeah, I'm gonna end up having to tell her that. And now she wants me over there. She was on payroll brain right then, so I didn't break from her.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rafat can't keep pissing people off.
No, I didn't have time to talk to her, because as soon as I got there, I started cleaning the fridge, and then I started moving other things out on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the back area is completely cleared out. Harold and I pretty much wiped out the place.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's the plan. I just wanted to know if there was anything you wanted me to pick up or anything.
Nope.
By the way, these shoes are actually new. You know when you get new shoes and the underside is like, it's got all its ridges and, its flip sides and everything?
Yep.
Well, the complete sole, the undersole, still has all those new ridge bumps that you get when you're pouring the mold into the plastic. Like, this is brand fucking new. Like, this shoes have not been used at all. To the point that I realized I'm walking bow-legged. Have you ever noticed how my shoes look when they're done? Like, worn in?
No, I've never looked at the bottom of your shoes.
Well, I felt like my feet were being forced towards each other as I'm standing straight. And that's when I looked at my other shoes and I noticed that the outside edge of my undersoles are completely worn off. Like, to the point that they're already on the inner shoe.
Mm.
And I'm like, fuck, I walk bow-legged. That's not good for my legs. That's not good for my ankles. No wonder I almost crack my ankles every time. Well, yeah. As soon as I stand in these shoes are forcing my ankles towards each other. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Badly have I been using the other shoes. But yeah, these shoes are fucking new, eh? I'm gonna use them for a little while. I'm gonna talk to Deb and see. It's just right now, too much is happening. I'm gonna wait for the dust to settle in.
Yep.
Because of what's happening right now. But yeah, I'm gonna have to let that know. Like, what's on the schedule for Thursday? Because now we have to redesign everything.
Well, she needs to get that sorted out.
Yeah, because if this is the case, then I have to work Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. That's it. It's just getting frustrating.
Well, she's supposed to have this stuff sorted out.
Yeah, well, she was on payroll brain, and she just came out of the fucking theater thing. So,
So are you on your lunch right now?
kinda, sorta. I'm basically done. I clocked myself in at 12. So I was gonna go eat something in the kitchen before I get out.
Oh, okay.
Because she wants me there by 2. So I'm gonna, like, sit back, relax, eat, take my time.
Okay.
Because I don't have to give a shit.
Yep.
I went and bought 2 more bags of Cokes. They were like $4.50 total after tax, which is actually really cheap when you think about it, because I eat that shit for a month. So I'll be home soon.
Well, not soon, but soon.
Yeah, it's like somewhere around 5, essentially. I'll be home sooner than later.
Yeah.
And I'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean.
Okay.
Yep.
You're typing right now. What are you doing?
I'm on stream. I've just got my mic muted so that.
Why didn't you say something? I'll let you go then. Bye for now, love.
See you later.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Sorry about that. So just to bring you up to speed what I was doing while you were sitting there not listening, well, you may have been listening, but I wasn't talking. We very quickly set up the coal station. And what we're aiming for here, to walk you through it really quickly, is 4 holding tracks and 2 passenger, 2 freight tracks. So that should give us a nice good run. We're looking at putting a road in, and then we'll expand this town out a little bit later on. That being said, we're also looking at the hookup now. So we want to grab these outer lines and see where we can put them, where they line up compared to our existing ones, which are over a little bit, it looks like. So we'll just run these out and see where we end up. Somewhere I made a mistake right there. Now, I could fix this, but it's really not worth worrying about other than that. So we're just going to run this down. And we're starting to get close enough that we can kind of see the other lines. Okay, so if we go like that, that's a nice clean fix. And what we're going to do is to keep this in line, we're going to go 2, 2, 2, line, line, and line. And then we bring this one up and over. Up and over. There we go. And this should give us our bend. Unless I completely messed up. There we go. Okay. There we are. So we have our lighting here. We have our track coming down here into the coal station. So we're good there. And out of here. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to right off the side here, we're just going to do a little kickoff for our depot. No, a little further back. Actually, Lumberton's our first town, so we can actually do the depot from here. And then we're going to run our track up here, over, down. We're going to run one side that way, and we're going to run the other side, if I can ever get it hooked up, run the other side across. And then with this crossover, remember, any entrance to the intersection is a chain signal, and any exit from it is a regular. And now we need to go 12 signals, 12 blocks between each signal. There we go. And on the other side, same thing. 12 blocks between each signal. And then from here, same thing. 12 blocks between each signal. And then this one will just line up here so that it kind of matches. From this one, 12. And then we'll line up on the other side. This one, 12. And they should match until they get up here. Okay. And again, we're going to go 12. And 12. And that's going to bring us all the way down into our station, which is great. That brings us into the station, all hooked up, ready to go. Okay, so now, in order to start getting this coal stuff working, we're going to add a new train. That's going to be our worker train. Now we're going to need another train. This is going to be our coal train. This is going to be our starting fuel train. And we'll be fine with that for now. So we'll hold on to those. To start with, our first route, we're going to call this our commuter train. We're going to select our destination is going to be the Lumberton. And then it's going to go to small station 1. And then it's going to come back. Nice, quick, easy. Now we're going to add another one, and we're going to call this our fuel line. Coal fuel supply. We're going to apply that. And this is going to go in the opposite direction. It's going to load at the small station. And we're going to wait for full cargo or until done. And we're going to unload until done at Lumberton. And if I'm not mistaken, this sets the priority of them. And we're just going to flip this to and. So that's going to keep this train from leaving until it's ready. Now we're going to click on our depot. We're going to assign our routes, commuter and coal fuel. And we're going to go ahead and deploy them. And we can watch them leave. And so right off the bat, we're going to see a couple of things happen. We're going to pull out of here. And our next one's going to pull in. And I've just realized we're going to have a problem later if we don't fix it now. And that is that we won't be able to have a train exit or re-enter the depot later on. So we're just going to fix that really quick. We're going to go here. And we're going to go here. And then we're going to move this signal back and take this one out. And we're going to replace this with a chain signal. And we're going to remove this one. We're going to make this a chain signal. We're going to remove this one as well. This is a chain signal. This is a chain signal. Okay. This is chained to this. This is chained to this, which is chained to this. And now we're going to extend. We're going to extend this up. But on this one, we're going to bend like this. We're going to take this out. We're going to come up to here and go like this. Now, we're going to move this here. And we're going to take out this. Put a chain there. And the signaling might look a little weird at first, but it should make sense. So what this is doing is it's going to check and see if the train, we need to put a repeater here. There. Okay. So what this is doing is on the exit, this signal is checking to see if this intersection is clear in the path that we want to go. This signal allows for trains inbound to the depot to take the secondary track. This is going to prevent trains from going up the wrong path, like the exit path, and allow them out the inbound path. So that way, if we're trying to exit a train, we can have a train coming in, but it'll stand by waiting. And then here we have a complex set of signals. And I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way to make this a little more efficient. Like, if I put that on there, yeah, that breaks up that from the other side. Okay, so that will allow us to separate out. For a very brief period, this will be blocked, but not long enough to cause any ill effect. Now let's go see where our trains are at. Has a train already arrived? Oh, there's the commuter train. And currently it doesn't have any workers on board because we can't get to the coal station. Because my silly butt didn't put in a roadway. There we go. Nice and easy. all fixed up. And now, shift 2 and we can follow our train. Now it is going to run out of fuel. And this is going to demonstrate another important mechanic. When a train runs out of fuel, it doesn't stop. It just runs slower. Okay, so now we're carrying 40 people, and that is what the coal needs to run effectively. And what's funny is it's going to run out of coal just before it gets there, it looks like. Okay. Swap the workers out, and now you can see that the coal is already starting to come in, 5 at a time. And if we look at our other train, the commuter train, it's run out of fuel. So where it was running at 30 miles an hour, now it's running at 9. Much, much slower. So it is slower, but it's not the end of the world. We're going to pop over to the coal fuel supply, and you can see we're already half full. Not much that we need to do. We're going to go over to the commuter train, and it might go load up more workers. But while that train is running, we're going to come over here and take a peek at our town and see how things are going here. Doesn't look like anybody's upset or having any issues, really. We're still short on workers up here. So we could probably extend our labor residences. And if I remember correctly, this is where I wanted to put the market, right? Yes, that is where I wanted to put the market. And we're going to grab this input storage from the small storage. And now we'll probably start seeing some workers showing up at these two. 5 out of 5 here. We're just going to bump those up. And then we're going to flood the market with homes. There we are. Now we have lots of homes. And we should see workers start to flood into these places. You see them starting to walk to their potential jobs. Build a walkway for them here, because I forgot to do that. And you can see already we're starting to get one, two, three, four. Put a walkway there. And we're at 31 of 40. There we go. So already we're producing. Now remember that 1,000 lumber we bought earlier? We're going to be able to return that very soon, because right now we have a potential of 207 per minute. We're producing 170 per minute. So let's go ahead and sell 900. To get our money back on them. And you can see our lumber is kind of on the rise. See all these guys here? Carrying various items. And there we go. Our lumber's back up again. So if we hover over that, it took me a little bit to find that. So if you're trying to figure it out, the market for items that you can produce, in order to get the window to lock, you actually have to hover. You see a little circle in the top corner there? It has to fill up for you to be able to access it. And once you get off of that window, you can no longer reach it. Alrighty. So train 0 cannot reach full power, which is fine. The other train is on its way back with fuel. And you can see as it enters each block, the next light turns yellow, signifying that the one after it is cleared for the approach. But they can only look one signal ahead. Which is great. Now it's approaching into the town, and we'll watch the flow to see how the station works out. So it's going to pick a random holding track, moves into it, gets cleared to a platform, and heads right on out. And there we are. So I think with that, we're at a good holding point for this stream. You can kind of see now we've got a whole bunch of people who are complaining that they don't have enough work. That's kind of a good problem, because that's going to give us a huge market to be able to supply some other industries. So we're going to start building some more stations, some more places for people to work, some more villages later on. And we're going to kind of head out in various directions. So you can see here we've got the spool heading off. We'll probably use this area for bricks. We'll probably just focus on what have you in there. We might do like a potato farm or a wheat farm over here, do some farm villages up in this area between the lakes, and then kind of keep working from there. So we'll see you next time and look forward to